Hey, what's up guys? It's Fatal Trigger here with a deck profile. Today we're going to talk about Aleph Kagero. The deck focuses on embodiment of victory Aleph, Dragon Knight Aleph, embodiment of Armor Bar, and embodiment of Spear Tar. What it does is it focuses on superior writing Aleph, so you can get that one turn advantage over your opponent. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to ride until grade 2, and then you're going to ride until grade 3 right after. The deck is very good, it's very aggressive, very fast, but the main problem is it loses momentum as the duel drags on, so you have to win quickly. So here, let's check it out. First off, the starting Vanguard, I'm running Lizard Soldier Conroe. He's a very good Vanguard. His effect is when you ride on him with a Kagero, you put him in your rear guard circle, and then you can counterblast 1 to retire him at any time, and then search out a grade 1 or lower. So about half the deck you can search out. You don't want to search out any of the triggers, obviously, but you can search out bars, baris, airmos, gojos, all that jazz. What he does is he decks things and he searches out. He also gives you a little toolbox thing going with the deck. So if you need to defend, you can grab a bari. If you need more aggression, you can grab the bar. Or just grab the combo pieces for Dragon Knight, grabbing the bar or the tar. Usually you'll have either a bar and an Aleph or a tar and an Aleph. But he helps add consistency to the deck and basically get that superior ride off in the first shot. The reason I'm running 2 is just so I can search more. People usually tell me, 1's fine, 1's just good enough. But I prefer 2 in this specific build because I need those searches and it helps a lot, trust me. Taking 2 damage, I can search out, superior ride, get it off. As trigger wise, I'm running 4 heal, staple in every deck, 4 draw just to add consistency and add speed to the deck, and 8 critical. Like I said, the deck loses momentum very fast, so you need to end the game as quickly as possible. Critical triggers, they're amazing in this deck because they force your opponent to guard more often. It adds pressure by making them think you'll check into a twin drive, especially when you have an Aleph already out and you twin drive. Ugh, it's just deadly. Now to grade 1. So I'm running 4 bar, another staple in every deck. Just gives good boost to everybody all around. 4 null guards, Dragon Wyvern Guard, Bari. Basically, you call him to the rear guard. He has 0 guard shield. It's a very interesting card. Call him to the Guardian Circle, ditch card, and that unit takes no damage. So you can save yourself from taking massive damage from twin checks and just really beefy units. A lot of people say run 4. I have to disagree. I like 3 because 4 does end up clogging out a lot, and 3 is just good because I can search them out. Usually I end up searching a piece, as in spear or armor, and the second one will usually either go to an airmo or a bari. Most likely a bari because I like to defend, and this deck does lose momentum as the duel drags on, so you need to grab those baris to just survive and keep pushing. Next up, we have 3 airmo. Airmo, he's an interesting card. When he boosts a unit in the Kagero and it hits, you can discard 1 card and draw 1 card. He essentially lets you cycle through the deck, which is very good in this game. And he speeds up the deck and lets you grab the combo pieces ASAP, so you can better superior ride into Aleph. Next up, we have 2 Gojo. 2 Gojo is essentially the same as Airmo, but you don't have to boost. You only have to rest him, and he goes off. The reason I'm only running 2 is because he's a 7k booster, but I like to get his effect off, whereas Airmo can do both. Now to grade 2s. Dragon Knight Aleph. Aleph, his effect is simple. Counterblast 1, when you have Bar and Tar on board, you soul charge them, then you search for an Aleph and you superior ride at. Essentially Aleph is like a fusion of all 3. It's just a little interesting topic there. But he's a 9k by himself. I really don't like to call him by himself as a rear guard after I ride. I usually just like keeping him in hand and using him for Bari fodder, basically, or just stuff for Airmar, Gojo, etc. I'm running 4 because it needs to be run out. I can't search it, but I can draw into it really well. Next up, we have for Nahalem, the grade 2 10k Interceptor, another staple in every deck. You should run him. Just very good overall. Reason being is because he's 10k. Okay, so what? Well, most grade 3s have 10k attack as a base, whereas Nahalem also has 10k. Okay, so they have the same, but he's a grade lower. The thing is, Nahalem works better as a rear guard because he can intercept. So he's a sword and shield, whereas 10k such as Aleph, they're horrible as a rear guard. All they can do is hit, and they can't intercept. So you want more Nahalems than Aleph. Aleph, if you usually just have one in hand, just usually discard it for a Bari, Airmo, or those. Just better cycle through the deck. Next up, we have 4 Berserk Dragons. People ask why 4 Berserk Dragon, because you know it's 2 counterblast per effect and only gets rid of 1 unit. This deck does counterblast a lot thanks to Aleph, so 4 can actually work really consistently. It's not searchable, but I can cycle through it if I can't counterblast or I just don't feel the need to. He's also fodder for my grade 1s, but overall he's a very solid card. You can knock out 2 rear guards with him alone. You know, use one for effect and then beat over the other one. For grade 3s, we have 4 Overlord. Reason I run 4 is just because he's so good. He's an 11 by himself, but he loses attack if you don't have another Kagero on board, which honestly, it rarely happens, and I mean rarely. Just a very solid hitter. He's actually very good as a rear guard, and his effect is just amazing. Counterblast 3, he loses Twin Drive, but he gains 5,000 attack, and when he hits a rear guard, he can stand back up. I only use his effect as a rear guard because as a Vanguard, it's very bad. He loses the Twin Drive. As a rear guard, you don't have to worry about that. Sure, you don't get a check, but you can still wreck over your opponent and force them to guard more often. Whereas a Vanguard, you lose the Twin Drive, and at most you can only get 1 drive check, which really just slows you down. You need the Twin Drive as soon as you can get it. It's just amazing overall. So you should never use the effect as a Vanguard, but don't hesitate to use this effect as a rear guard. It's just too broken. Next up, we have 2 Aleph. People are asking me why 2. Well, think about it. He's searchable with Dragon Knight, and you only really need 2. One will usually end up in hand, but the other one will usually stick in deck. If it was up to me, I'd run 1, but it just goes to hand very, very quickly. So 2 is the magic number. Keep 1 in hand, just tribute fodder, you know, for the grade 1s, or just keep it in hand. And then, you know, the other one will almost always be in the deck. Then you can just ride off and boom, you're set. His effect is Counterblast 4, gain 3,000, and 1 crit. I honestly don't like it because Gancelot has essentially the same thing, but it's just far more better. Yeah, it does require Blaster Blade, but then again, he searches out Blaster Blade. But Aleph, I hardly ever use his effect unless I want to add more pressure. You can use his effect twice, but it's still not worth it. His second effect is very interesting though. Soul Blast Aleph, Bar, and Tar, and you won't flip all your damage. This is why I run Aleph. Also, the reason why I run so many counterblast units like that. He lets you essentially just take advantage of your counterblast again, and you know, go off again. So once you get that second shot off, you're pretty much always having game. Just a crazy combo, you know. You can use a Berserk, call Berserk, use his effects. Use Overlord, he gains 5,000. Unflip all your damage. Overlord's effect again. And then like a random Conroe or something like that. And search out a Bari or a Bar to back up Overlord. And it's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty much his only purpose. Other than that, he's not really that good. He's more lackluster than anything else. And finally, we have 2 Yaksha. Yaksha is a mini, how do I put it? Just a mini superior ride trick in this deck. He only works with Berserk Dragon, but other than that, he's just an early, he's just a filler. I use him there just to be my other grade 3. I was running 6, but I feel 8's better, so I can have that flawless ride. He's not bad, but I rarely get his effect off. So yeah, guys, that's the deck. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe, and that's it. Out.